and welcome to Choreographer Talk. My name is Jane D'Angelo, and I'm the Executive Director of OhioDance, as well as the project producer of the OhioDance Festival. Today, our guest choreographer is Michael Uthoff. Michael is a former dancer with Jose Limon and the Joffrey Ballet. He founded and directed the Hartford Ballet for 20 years before leading Ballet Arizona. He launched the Michael Uthoff Dance Theatre in 2003 and later transformed Dance St. Louis as its artistic and executive director. He now is back with them as artistic director. And since 2010, he has taught at Webster University. He is also artistic director of the New Dance Partners Johnson County Community College in Kansas. An excerpt of Michael Uthoff's choreography, Murmurs of A, created in 1984, will be performed at the OhioDance Festival on Friday, April 25th, 2025 at 7:30. The concert is being held at the Ohio State University Department of Dance in Sullivant Hall. I will put information about this in the chat so you will be able to find out how to get tickets. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we're honored to have you. And
My pleasure.
we would love to know about your piece that is going to be shown at the festival.
Well, it's a piece that's very dear to my heart. It was created in 1984. For the people to understand this, I was born in Chile in South America, and during a great period of time between 1973 and 1984, beyond that, my country was under a military dictatorship. And I was asked by the American government, at that time, the USIA, which I think no longer exists under the present regime, but that's beside the point, to go down and create a ballet. And I decided that I would do a work that inspired me, that showcased my country as it was when I was there, a young man, and not as it was at that moment. So the idea was to create an entire work, and the reason it's called Murmurs of the Stream is because Chile is a very long and narrow country. So if a stream would run from north to south, what would that stream say about the things that he would see? It would see as it went down south. So the idea was to create 11 vignettes, and in some ways it was about my experiences of what I would see when I looked out the window of a train. There were people that were impoverished, people that were struggling. And in this case, it would have to do a great deal with the fact that some of the civil liberties did not exist, and that they had to try and find ways of finding themselves as human beings. So the excerpts that I've done for Kent State Dance Department is not the whole work. I think they're doing, I don't know if they're going to do all six, but I think we managed to set six of the works. And they're very powerful, they're very nice, and they do it very well. And it was very nice for me to work with them because Kent State, with what happened in the Vietnam War, has a special affinity to horrible things. And they were able to relate very well to what I was trying to tell them about the piece and how to express the joy, how to express the sorrow, or the pain that it was trying to adapt to a new reality. And interestingly enough, and sadly enough, under the present circumstances that we're living today in the United States, it becomes more pertinent.
Yes, absolutely. This piece is very powerful. I have been able to be privileged to see some of these excerpts already, and I know that the audience is going to be absolutely mesmerized by what they see.
I hope so. It's very simple in conception. It is very straightforward. It had beautiful, music of the time of composers that some of them were killed by the military, some of them was into exile, and now they're more accept. Well, they were accepted then, but the military didn't accept them, and they are very popular, and they're a very beautiful piece of music.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful music. I have a question for you because, this is a story that is your story and right from your heart. And how do you communicate this vision to your dancers, to the dancers?
Well, in some ways, as I stated, it was easier for me to have them relate to in Kent State because of the shooting that happened there during the Vietnam War situation, so that there was an affinity to horrors that could happen. But this particular work, not all of them depict the horror. Some of them depict the power of the people and the power, especially of women. I mean, history will tell us that men who declare war and women who have to deal with the peace and everything. And so, in a way, it was something of a eulogy, not a eulogy, a kind of a song to the strength of the Chilean women who, through it all, were able to survive it and bury their husband and sons, but still managed to make it happen. And as I said,
Absolutely.
the kids in Kent were very responsible, and it's a fluid work. It's not contemporary in the sense of what we see today, of somewhat convoluted. It's very straightforward, simple.
Mm, nice. Beautiful. Yes, it's a beautiful piece.
Thanks.
Um, it's interesting because you say that the Vietnam War, but these students are so much younger. They didn't experience it. They did not go through it as, I did at that time. I was very active at the time, and there was a lot of things going on. We had our relatives, our friends going over to Vietnam War, so it really, hits home that and then what happened at Kent State. I know they know the history, but they did not live through it. So it's amazing that you were able to really to get that out of them, to be able to have them understand the history and to be able to relate to it.
Well, I mean, being myself part of it, although I was in the periphery, but because my family was there, my brother was there, but I was here. So it was always I was looking at it from the outside in instead of from the inside out. So mine is a little bit more, some people would think, well, you're a little bit of fairy tale the way you go about it because you didn't really live the horror. But that's not the point. You don't have to burn yourself to know that fire will burn you. So, but I think today's kids, well, at least in my classes when I teach, and I make them aware of what's happening in the world. They can't just go ahead and try and point their feet without having to have any relationship to the outside world. I mean, if they're going to vote, now they can vote at 18, they don't have to be 21. They have to respond. They have to have some kind of responsibility. And that requires them knowing a little bit about what happens.
Yes, absolutely. So right. Um, yeah, anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I mean, it's like it's a work that was really born out of. I like it myself a lot, and it was a work that I treasure mostly because my parents was one of the first times that my parents were able to see what I could do as an as a choreographer, and they were totally moved by it. So being able, and my parents were in dance, so being able to do that to them, it's something that I will never forget. It was very touching, very special doing. And just as an anecdote, because of the subject matter, because of the music that was used, there was a chance in Chile that it was not going to be done, that they were not going to show it. And the committee was formed to see the work and determine whether it was a work of art or a political commentary. And of the five people that were there, four of them agreed that it was a work of art beyond the commentary. One didn't. But yeah, and then they approved to do it after that. So
Right,
it was very funny because you think, wow, you do a work because you love it, but you don't expect to be that controversial.
right, right. Yeah. we look forward to seeing the piece and hearing more from you, and we hope you come back to Ohio.